So I didn't really know what to do, right? No one tells you how to like go through grief. Like the only way to do it is like you just have to go through it. Like, but I didn't know that. So what I did was white girl shit. Because that's what you do. As a white girl, you're like, I'm just going to heal myself. I'm in my healing era. I'm going to do all of it. I'm just going to go to Bali. I'm going to like see a Balinese healer. I'm going to go to India. I'm going to do eat, pray, love, right? I'm going to eat, pray, love, right? I did eat, pray, love, but I did it in reverse. Love, pray, eat. Because like who wants to eat and then make love? Like, right? You want to make love and be like, thank fuck it's over. Let's eat. That's what you want to do. Particularly in your 30s, you're like, nah, I'm going to vomit on something. So I eat, pray, loved. I randomly went from Bali, I went to India, and then I went back to Italy, and so in reverse. And I went to Bali, and I like saw this Balinese healer. I was like meditating on crystals, right? Not a dildo crystal. Because that does exist, right? Like this one of my friends, she's like, yeah, and I just got like a rose quartz dildo and I just put it up there to like cleanse my chakras and like cleanse my yoni. And I was like, okay, I don't know if you know this, Becky, but that rose quartz comes from the Congolese, where I'm pretty sure like 10 children died so that you could cleanse your yoni. So just like, shut up, okay? So I was healing myself, and I spent a lot of time last year in India. I was in India a lot last year, partly because I was doing some shows. I went there in January last year, and I thought, you know, like I was there, and I was like, you know what? Maybe for like shits and giggles, I'll just like jump on Tinder, right? I'll just see what's around. Maybe I'll get some content from it, right? Which is, guys, this is a really fucked up situation, right? Because that's kind of like my job, right? It's like, because you come here, you expect dating stories, and it's really fucked. So when people ask me, they're like, Eleanor, what do you do for a living? It's like, well, I just go on Tinder in random countries and find myself on precarious, sometimes dangerous dates, and then tell it on stage for you. So you're welcome, Vienna. You're welcome, right? Thank you. So I downloaded Tinder, and of course I've been living in Germany for too long, so I pay for it because I'm efficient with my time. And so I paid for Tinder, downloaded it, and within 4 hours of landing in Mumbai, I had 19,000 matches. I was like, am I famous? 19,000. I know some single women are like, we're going to Mumbai. 19,000. That's a that's a stadium of people being like, I want to fuck you. Because they're not like, I want to get to know your family. Like, that's not, right? 19,000. And then after Mumbai, I went to Bangkok, turned on Tinder, 2 matches. And they were Indian. So I was in Mumbai, I was like scrolling through, like my notifications were like blowing up my phone, so I had to like turn off the notifications, it was that bad. And then I was going through 19,000, right? And I ended up finding this one guy, he worked in Bollywood, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll go on. He was like, kind of cute, I was like, let's go on a date. So we went on a date, and I really liked this guy, and I was like, okay. And I came back to Germany, and I told my German friend, right? I was like, yeah, I met this guy in India, and like online, and she's like, oh, okay. So, Eleanor, you met this guy online? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. And now you're flying halfway around the world to see him again? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. Does he exist? I don't know what she thought, that my phone rang one day and it was like, hello, ma'am, would you like to buy some insurance? I was like, oh my God, you sound hot. So I flew back to Mumbai to see him, and it's always weird going to India. I don't know if anyone here has ever been, but it's always weird because it's always me and one other white girl on the plane, right? Me, one other white girl, and she's going there to do a yoga course. Me, I'm not going to go for a yoga course. I'm going for intercourse, and just different, you know. And it's always weird, like, being on the... You know, she's that girl on the plane that's always, like, stretching and, like, in the aisle with her yoga pants on. She's like, namaste. I'm also stretching, like, namaste. So I landed in Mumbai, and I'm always scared going through immigration. No matter where I go, I'm always scared. Even if I have the right visa, the right passport, I just always get freaked out, right? Because you don't really know what to say. And I'm lucky. I hold 2 passports. I'm half Italian, half Australian. But sometimes if I hand over like my Italian passport, but I speak like this, like they just automatically think like, oh my God, this is fraudulent. This is a fraudulent passport. Who is this woman, right? So like sometimes I'll be like, oh, here, cheers, mate. And they'll look at me and be like, ugh. I'll be like, oh, sorry. No, questo è il mio passaporto. Allora, che cazzo fai? Allora, no, ma dai, madonna. And then I just walk out and they're like, okay, that checks out, right? So I just go super over the top. And so I land in Mumbai, I'm going to the immigration, and the immigration guy is like, okay, ma'am, what are you doing here in India? And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, my God. I was like, oh, I don't want to... I was like, okay, Elena, just like fit in with the other white girls. Like fit in with the other white girl. I was like, I'm just here to find myself. Some dick. He's like, okay, madam, go through. So I was there and I was dating this guy, and I think as well, like women, like we want to be treated like a queen, right? I think no matter what, like woman, man, like everyone wants to be treated like a queen, right? We're like single lady, you know, recently broken up, you want to be treated like a queen. Yeah. She's just over it at this point. She's like, we want to be treated like a queen. This is what we hear. Yeah, like all the time. Like I should be treated like a queen. If he wanted to, he would. Like, I want to be treated like a queen, right? I'm like, okay, me too, but be specific, yeah? What kind of queen, okay? Are we talking about a 16th century queen who like marries her first cousin and then gets him killed and then gets beheaded? Are we talking about that kind of queen? At this point, I just want to be treated like a drag queen, to be fair, right? Like, if I'm just treated like RuPaul, like, that's amazing. Like, they just get on stage, lip sync to their favorite songs, and people throw cash at them. I'm like, they don't even have to get naked. I was like, that's a queen, right? That's a kind of queen, right? So I was dating this guy in Mumbai. We were doing long distance. It wasn't easy, but he also said to me when we first started dating, he's like, I need to tell you, that I wape. And I was like, what? And what I didn't realize is that he says his V's as W's, like Indians and Germans like that speak that also say V's as W's. So I didn't know this. So he's like, yeah, I wape. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm a waper. I was like, a what? He's like, I'm a wapist. I'm like, please don't say it like that. He vapes, right? He's a vape, like vapes, right? And I was like, oh my God, I've never dated a waper before. And don't worry, he was of age. So like it was really weird because like the first night we slept together, I didn't know, like just sleeping together, like woke up the next morning and I was in this like half asleep, dazed, kind of confused thing. And then I just hear this. Right. Now, of course, I grew up Italian, super overweight, and I love food, right? So I was in this half asleep thing and I was like, oh, is that strawberry? Vanilla? Mint? Oh my God. Did he make me pancakes? Oh! I was like, no, Elena, you're just fat. I was like listening because I was like, and then I woke up and there's this like cloud of smoke and I was like, whoa, right? I was like, is the building on fire? He's like, no, I'm just weeping. I was like, okay, wapist. And we were having like, it was quite difficult doing the long distance thing. And I remember I was leaving Mumbai airport, and as I was leaving, and we weren't officially broken up yet, but we were having troubles. And so I was walking through the airport to get onto my plane back to Germany, and I just felt this like presence behind me. And I turned around, and this guy was there, and I was like, huh? And he's like, huh? And I'm like, right? And he's like, hello, ma'am. What are you doing here in India? And I was like, oh, I can't use that one again. So I was like, oh, I'm dating this guy here. And he's like, no, he's a bad man, right? And he's like, me, I'm a good man. I was like, are you trying to arrange marriage yourself right now, right? And so I'm sorry, let me just add you to the list, 19,001. He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm a good man. I'm like, and also I love the concept of arranged marriage because like when you get to your mid-30s and you're just over dating, like you're just like, yeah, let's just outsource it, you know, just like get someone else to do it. But you know, it's always your parents and you have to trust your parents, right? I do not trust my parents. Like my dad signed up to a pyramid scheme and my mum likes Justin Bieber, you know, so like... There's no hope. So he starts showing me photos of his family, his like mum, his dad, his first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, dogs, cats, like his mum's curries. And at this point, I'm invested, right? And I didn't really know how to say no, so I took his number and I was like, I'll let you know, right? And I said to him, like, what do you do for a living? What's your job? And he's like, ma'am, you see the Burger King over there? Everything the light touches, I manage, right? I was like, oh, you manage the Burger King? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you know, when I said I wanted to be treated like a queen, Burger Queen was not what I meant. But also free fries, so I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Burger Queen. But so we ended up breaking up. I came back to Germany and I told my friends, and I think different cultures have different reactions to breakups, right? So I told my American friend that we went through a breakup, and she was like, you know what? Fuck that guy. Fuck him. We're going to go out. We're going to do shot. You know what? I've got a gun. You want me to kill him? I've got a gun. I was like, whoa. That escalated quickly. She's from Florida. Makes sense, right? And but then I told my German friend, I was like, yeah, like we broke up and I'm like really upset about it. And she's like, well, Elena, what did you expect? Dankeschön.